What's up, everybody? Welcome to Make Things Tiny. My name is Mick, and today I'm talking to Saylor. Saylor is the owner of Coastal Tiny Homes, which is a tiny house company based out of North Carolina. Saylor's going to talk a little bit about why they decided to create their company, their design process, their build process. They're going to walk us through everything that they sort of pay attention to, the little details, the high-end finishes. They're also going to talk a bit about their partnership with Poplar Creek Tiny Home Village as well too. They're one of the builder partners with the community there. So they're going to talk about some of the designs, the models that they're sort of using for that particular partnership. So yeah, this is a great video for those of you who are still looking to go tiny, but you don't know in terms of builders, like what you're looking for or what you're interested in, and also what to look for and the types of questions to ask. So I'm excited for you guys to learn more about Saylor and their company. Before getting into the video, I just want to say if you're new to the channel, please do take time to subscribe. It helps me out a ton. There's a subscribe button at the bottom of your screen. If you tap the notification bell, you find out when I drop new videos. I drop new videos every single week. And if you've already subscribed to the channel, you can do two different things. You can either say thank you, just click the thank you button and do a super thanks. You can also click the join button and select from one of the different membership options. And if you're looking for a new tiny house t-shirt or a hoodie or a hat, we've got you covered there too, so you can check out the merch shop. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk to Saylor and let's learn about their company. All right, I'm here today with Saylor. Saylor, thank you so much for being on the channel. Saylor's the owner of Coastal Tiny Homes. I'm excited to just learn more about you and have you talk a bit about your experience. If you don't mind to start just talking about what got you into tiny homes and why you started to create your own company, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, so thank you so much for having me on this channel. It's really a great platform for me to really talk about what I do, how I do them, and I'm really grateful we got connected through a certain individual who's playing a big role in what I have going on my end of the tiny homes. So really what got me into the tiny homes was in my senior year of high school in 2019. My dad started building a tiny house, and when I would go see him on the weekends and go down to the beach where he was in the summer, I really just fell in love with the whole process of watching a house come together, the construction from start to finish. And it really caught my attention because at that time, graduating high school, I didn't definitely know what I wanted to do at the age of 18. But I knew it wanted to be something in construction, and just the timing worked out uh, really it couldn't have worked out more perfect. And so since then, I've been a part of 10 or 11 total builds. And I've done 5 or 6 on my own solely at the age of 23, which then, not knowing much with construction other than some side jobs and working for his plumbing company and working with some guys over summer, just construction that way. Nothing really like I'm doing now. So it's just great to really have learned what I have over these past 5 years, and I feel like I'm just going to continue to grow, continue to get better, and my homes are thankfully high quality. There's a lot of craftsmanship that goes into them, a lot of hard work and effort, and yeah, I'm thankful for kind of the timing that it worked out, and haven't looked back.
That's really awesome. I feel like that's really cool that you're able to get so much experience before starting a company too. I feel like a lot of people, they just kind of like dive in and maybe they don't know anything. So it's really cool that you were able to sort of take what you've learned over the years from working with your dad and seeing everything that they've done to be able to take it and turn it into something that you can now look at and be like, this is this is mine. These are my houses. This is my company. That's really cool.
Yeah, when I was doing them with him, it was kind of on the side from his plumbing company. So we'd take a couple hours after work and go work on a house, and so it was really just a complete side job hobby, if you even want to call it that. It was just really just what we enjoyed doing versus what was paying the bills at the time. And
Mhm.
then one company really uh, was hot during the summer season. It was this really got put on hold. It really got put on the back end, and so I learned the trade of plumbing as well, and which in the back because I've enjoyed working in the trades no matter what it is. So I've then then learned plumbing, also have bounced back and forth between this. And over that year and a half, 2 year break where plumbing had just gotten super hot and really didn't do anything with these, I had decided to go back to it, really legalize and form the company myself. So it's all good on the books. It's all good on paper. It's true. It's legit. There's no cutting corners with anything with me or my company, whether it be, legalized stuff or construction. So it's really been great to be such a young business owner, just constantly
Mhm.
learning and growing, and rather than really just diving in, just going in blind and not knowing what you're getting into. It's really been helpful that I've kind of was able to use it and learn, and then finally use that experience and just dive in with some experience.
Yeah, and I think it really shows too, because I've seen some of your tiny homes, like your models, like on Instagram, and like they look really high quality. What's that build process been like for you? Because not every builder builds to the same sort of like standards in terms of how it looks, but like yours look really, really luxury, like kind of like luxury. So what's that process like for you to build them out?
I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, so
Hmm.
so all of my homes are built to the highest quality. Just me as a person and how I was raised, I don't cut corners. I only work to my fullest potential. I give my hardest in everything I do. So when it comes to the homes, you're not going to see cheap material inside. You're not going to see corners cut. So the whole build process starts with the trailer. It's built strictly for a tiny home. I've seen some builders that will convert old utility trailers or use mobile home trailers, which I'm assuming works because I haven't seen one where they're off on the side of the road or it's fallen off the wheels or whatever case may be. So I'm assuming it works from getting it to point A to point B. But my homes are built so you're able to haul them around as if you were an RV or a camper. Yeah, they're going to be heavier and not as aerodynamic, but they're built to that quality standard that I hold myself to, where you're not going to have any issues with the structure of the home, whether it be the trailer, the framing, the roof, the interior materials. Everything's going to be built and use the highest quality material. Um, so the trailers are built strictly for a tiny home. They're all true steel framing, 2x6 outer band, 2x6 trusses across the uh, spanning across the middle, 16 on center. They have threaded rods every 4 feet around the exterior, so when you get to the framing, you're able to really secure and attach down with washers and nuts that bottom plate to the trailer, so there's nowhere for your walls to go. From the 2x4 framing walls, 2x6 or 2x8 roof trusses, we then move to the sheathing. Then we're setting windows. From the windows, we put the metal roof on after that. Once that's on, then we come back inside. We'll do all our trades. We'll get our electricians here. Me working for a plumbing company, I'll do the plumbing work, and then running the mini split line and any gas lines that need to be run. And then I'll get them insulated with spray foam insulation. All the interiors are open cell spray foam, and the bottom is closed cell spray foam to fight against weather. Um, then we'll go back outside, put some siding on the house, whether it be vinyl siding, which is easy to maintain for homeowners. It's also lightweight because it's on a trailer, and you want to kind of reduce the weight as much as you can without reducing the quality of the material. So vinyl siding is great to use. Um, it comes in all different styles, colors, and so there's definitely a lot of options with that. And you don't have to paint it or repaint it every so often. You really just pressure wash it and wash it down, and it looks good as new. Sometimes we'll use some LP Smart Side. So it's wood engineered product. It comes in lap siding, shake siding, and also 4x8 or 4x10 sheets. Really can give you all different styles and looks that you want. And that has to be painted. That's the only downfall of that when it comes to the time consumption during construction. But once we finish up that siding, then the outside of the home's completely done, and we'll come back inside, and it'll already be insulated. So we'll start up top. We'll do 1x8 tongue and groove pine stained and sealed. Then we'll come down. We'll use all 1x8 pine shiplap already primed. And then from there, we'll go to the floor, use LVP, pet proof, scratch proof, waterproof flooring throughout the home. Once that's in, we'll go to our cabinets. They're all RTA, so ready to assemble. They come in all different colors. They can also be custom painted, but the manufacturer I get them from really has a lot of options, and they use really good quality material for their cabinets, so that's why I continue to stick with them. Once the cabinets are installed, we'll go and do our tile. I like to use ceramic tile in the showers just because it gives you more of a home feel versus uh, I've seen people just put that fiberglass shower or tub in there. I've seen people who will use some sort of PVC material for the walls. Nothing that I'm too familiar with that way because what I've used works and I feel that it looks the best. That's just me. But the ceramic tile does add weight, but again, I feel like there's more of a pro than a con to using it when it comes to the look of it, the feel of it. It doesn't feel like a camper or a trailer. It feels like a home when you're looking at true tile in a tiny home. Once that's done, we'll go to the trim work, and then we'll paint the home, and then really just final trim out and trades. So it's definitely a process. It's really built essentially like a traditional home is. Um, Everything I just stated, I know it was lengthy, but it is that is really a traditional way of building a home. In that order, give or take a little bit. You can obviously swap it up here and there, but for me, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I haven't had any issues with the way I do things, so I don't see a way in changing it.
Mhm. No, and I appreciate you going through like sort of every step because I feel like it's important for people to know, especially for people as they go and interact with different builders to learn about like what the builder knows too. Like if I was looking for a tiny house and I came across your company and I met with you and you went through that entire breakdown with me, I would feel really confident in moving forward in that process and like having you be the person to build my tiny house as opposed to, maybe you go to someone else and you ask them a bunch of different questions and they can't answer certain questions. It kind of chips away at your confidence as a buyer, as a consumer. So I think that it's actually really great that you went through every detail. I learned something, and I know that anyone watching is gonna learn about it. And if anything, just gives people more information to be aware of when they go and they look for different builders.
Absolutely, I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. And I know that you're working with you're partnering with Poplar Creek, so I know that you're partnering with them to create some models for them and their community. Are they going to be specific models designed just for Poplar Creek? Like, what's sort of your thought process in creating that partnership, and what might that look like for you?
Yeah, so partnering with Poplar Creek, it's a small tiny home community. Right now it's small. It's in Ruffton, which is Rutherford County, essentially located really between Asheville and Charlotte. So you're really
Mhm.
in the foothills of the mountains. I haven't personally been up there yet, but I will be here in the next few weeks just to tour the site. Um, it is Right now it's 10 sites. Once those are full, they'll begin developing the next 20 sites. So it'll be a total of 30 home sites. It's been really great working with them. Deidre is wonderful. She's very intelligent, very smart. She knows what she's doing.
Mhm.
And I've really gained a good relationship with her. I trust her, and she's really someone that I could have a relationship outside of business, which is always great to have. When people aren't necessarily just your business partner, when they can be your
Right.
friend outside of. Um, but for them, right now we have two builds for them, two models. One will be a 24 by 10, and one will be a 32 by 8.5. Both will have downstairs living, downstairs sleeping areas. Both will have a queen bed, I believe, downstairs in the bedroom. Both will have closet space. They'll have plenty of countertop space, plenty of kitchen cabinets. Both will have full size bathrooms with washers and dryers, whether it be a combo or a stackable unit. Um, Stand up showers with tile. Um, yeah, so we're still discussing right now the what these two models will look like, what kind of styles and designs we want on them. We'll definitely do two different ones just to showcase what it is we can do.
Hmm.
But regardless of the style, they're both going to look great. They're both going to have a great flow to them. Um, they're both they're both going up there. We're going to try to do them kind of like 1A, 1B. So we'll frame up one, we'll frame up the next. So really, we can get them going at the same pace versus just working on one, getting it finished, and then starting the other. We feel like we can get them done quicker if we do them both at the same time versus focusing on one, then focusing on the other once the first one's finished. Those two models will be the models for up there. That's not the only ones that will go in the park. Or in the community, I'm sorry. They will and they are accepting other tiny home builds.
Hmm.
That's just what they're gonna showcase, what they're gonna model. These two that I'm partnered with and these two that I'm building for them.
No, that makes sense, and I think that's going to be really exciting for people to be able to see what you're doing and the work that you're doing, and have that as an option. Visually, I think that'll help people make their decisions too. Do you know in general, like what the price range tends to be for the homes that you build?
Yes. So the homes that I build outside of Poplar Creek tend to range between 50,000 and 100,000.
Okay.
The homes I built have been anywhere from a 20-foot home, which is what I'm in,
Hmm.
which is the lower end of that price range. Versus I've built some up to 36 and 38 feet, and that have sold for up towards $100,000. Across the well, not across, in the building that's not behind me, one on the other side of the camera, we have a tiny house going, which is actually my dad's personal tiny home. It's a 45 by 10, which I did not know they made trailers that big, but
Yeah.
we came across one and we're actively working on it so we can get it finished and out and set up on our property. And so I can get these next two models in there. But yeah, so my price range uh, between all the builds that I've done have been 50 to 100. These two that I'm doing for Poplar Creek, they're starting at 75 and 90,000. So the 24 by 10 will start at 75,000 with um, I want to. I don't want to say the base options because
Hmm.
there's not really anything base because like this home that I'm in is technically a spec and a base and it's got nothing but the highest quality material. So I would say a custom spec more or less. But so the 24 by 10 will start at 75,000 and the 32 by 8.5 will start at 90,000. And again, that's already with plenty of high end materials, really everything you can imagine. It's just how custom do you want to go when it comes to a tiny home will really increase that price.
Mhm. No, that makes sense. And honestly, that's a really good price range because if 50K is a really good deal for a tiny house. I think in general, but especially with the kind of quality that you put into it and the way that it looks and just your knowledge of everything, I think that's a really great deal. And then even up to like 100K, like that's the going rate right now, like based off of sizing too. Like the bigger they get, the more that you're gonna have to pay for just the sizing and the materials and everything like that. So I think that you're on the lower you're on the kind of like the lower end with the 50K, and then you're right where a lot of other like luxury high end builders are, but even some go beyond 100K. So even then you're still in a good range, in my opinion, at least from what I've seen.
Yes, I have seen some that are listed for upwards of 150,000, and that may be, what they feel it's worth. I don't dive too much into it because I don't like to really not that I don't like to look at other builders' work. Obviously, I'll always look at other people's stuff. I don't like to comment on it just because they'll do things their way, I'll do things my way. So I'm not going to sit here and never ever talk negative about anybody's work.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and I just kind of keep to myself when it comes to comparing my work to others.
Hmm.
But someone asking 150, $160,000 for a tiny house may seem ridiculous to a lot of people because when tiny homes really first started getting popular, it was about being debt free, saving money, not getting out of mortgage, and um, that was really the main purpose of them. But when people don't really understand that when the price of everything goes up, as you see, groceries are more, traditional homes are more, you name it, everything's gone through the roof. So have our building materials. And
Right.
so just because I used to be able to sell a house for $35,000 because I could invest, a little bit less than that and make that profit margin I shoot for, um, it's not possible now. What I used to sell them for, I have more in labor and material
Mm-hmm.
at this point. So it's people. Some people don't understand it. Some people do. And so, but I'm more than happy to explain it to them that you can't expect a $35,000-$40,000 tiny house right now unless it's going to be a shoebox or it's going to be of really non high end or quality material. So again, some builders make him build small tiny homes for $35,000-$40,000. They could be a general good size that you can actually move around in. But uh, there may be material out there I'm not familiar with that can cut cost of construction. So everyone has their own way of doing things. I'm not ever going to talk bad about anybody's work, anybody's craftsmanship, anything like that. So for me, it's just always about putting that high end stuff in there, the highest quality material, doing the best work I can, but at the same time, trying to keep it as reasonably priced for people because really, unless you just have boatloads of money. Everyone's in the same struggle right now with the
Mm-hmm.
pricing of stuff, whether it be groceries, whether it be rent, whether it be gas, utilities, you name it. Everything's gone up. So I try to keep my homes priced as fairly as I can, while still needing to make a living off of it because right now this is my only source of income.
Yeah.
So again, if I was even able to build homes and donate them, I would. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that kind of money. I don't have that kind of inventory, and so one day if I win the lottery or something, I'd be more than happy to build tons of tiny homes and whether it be uh, give them to veterans or homeless people or whatever the case may be. Just that's not the case right now. So the prices of them, unfortunately, are higher than they used to be. But people have to adapt to that.
No, it's fair, and I agree with you. I think that, I mean, you say a couple things like, first of all, we are all kind of in the same boat. I think it's tough because everyone's living their own lives, so it's hard to see what other people are going through. But there are costs for everything. So right, like as the cost of bread goes up, you have to imagine like how much does the cost of lumber, like for all the metal for the framing, like all of the appliances, like everything that goes into, because a lot of tiny homes come with different features. Like I think sometimes people might not realize that like some of them are coming with like fridges, they're coming with mini splits, all those different things cost money too. But yeah, I think in general it makes sense just to try not to compare your cost to someone else's and just sort of stick to what you do. And every buyer is different, so you're going to find the right people, especially with what you're doing and the way that you're doing it. Like people are going to gravitate towards you and they're going to be really happy with the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, but it makes sense. It speaks to some of the challenges too, just with building a company
Yeah,
and creating a business around something like a house, which is something that's so personal to people. So, everyone's going to have like, really specific wants and needs and
yeah,
expectations from what, we're seeing on social media. Like there's just a lot of factors I think that go into play with this particular industry.
yeah, absolutely. That's one of the hardest things uh, has been the price of everything rising,
Hmm.
and me building. Again, I don't want to say spec homes because they're technically custom, but a custom spec versus custom for somebody because these that I've built that aren't pre-sold or custom orders really have to be built to the majority's liking. So I can't go and paint this wall behind me yellow because it's going to be an eyesore and people are going to be like, what are you thinking doing that? Versus,
Yeah.
I really try to keep it as neutral and favorable as I can, because when they're not pre-sold, I have to draw as much attention and crowd and interest on those who want to purchase as I can. So again, if I were to paint all these walls yellow, go outside and paint it green, there's not really going to be anyone interested. I'm sure there would be, but it would be a whole lot harder to sell, being not very likable by the majority than not. So that and the price of material, because I would love to have 3 or 4 of these sitting out and do a little bit different interior finishes or exterior finishes on all of them. But due to that rising price and cost of construction materials and labor and everything in between, I can really only have 1 or 2 at a time. The prices have just gone through the roof. What used to be, I believe, for instance, years ago, I bought when I would buy my subfloor using 3/4 Avantech. Um, I believe it was down to like $22 a sheet. And then when we took that break and I got back into it was when everything was through the roof. So it wasn't perfect timing to get back into it, but at the same time, it was, because it's led to more builds. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise. Um, but when I got back into it, that same sheet, same material, same manufacturer, not a thing different except the price. It was $89 a sheet.
Wow, it's a lot. It's huge. It's
So
like over 4 times the price. hmm
So it's been, thankfully, stuff's come back down since then. Not everything is still at its peak. Some stuff is, some stuff isn't. So, but then again, I'm willing to pay that price for that better material, even if it's stuff you're not going to see, because
hmm
that 3/4 Avantech, they make other 3/4 subfloor, but that Avantech is the best product that's out there. The price reflects that, even if it's twice or 3 times as much as the competitors. I know that that's the highest quality material. That's what I'm going to go and use.
hmm No, that makes sense. And I feel like, the people that buy your homes definitely appreciate the extra time that you take to sort of do your research and figure out like what is the more mainstream one, what's the better quality one, and like, taking the time to look that up, and then also being willing to, eat the cost in some ways too. So I think that people will definitely appreciate that. So yeah, I appreciate you sort of just like walking through that too, because there's a lot that, I don't know either. 'Cause I'm not a builder, and there's a lot that people don't know, watching videos on YouTube, and that, pay attention to things on the channel too. But yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot that go into it. That there's a ton of behind the scenes stuff, and
Mhm.
I think we had previously discussed a video in the future of me kind of walking
Yeah.
walking through a build under construction, and so that
hmm
way people can see behind the scenes, which is something that I want to do, because I want people to really know what they're buying.
Yeah.
For the most part, people just see what I see right now, what you see right now. They see walls up, they see a mini split up that's blowing, so they see power on. They see a couch behind me. They see me sitting on a stool, so they see a finished product.
Yeah.
And so, unfortunately, the people that don't know what's going on behind the scenes can really be taken advantage of.
Mhm.
They can really miss out on the knowledge is that's kind of that's kind of put out there about what's going in their home. So,
Mhm.
like, even if it's spec, even if it's a custom, if you don't know what's behind the walls, you can be told one thing and it could be something that's completely
Yep.
different.
Yep. No, for sure. I agree. And I think that's kind of the issue that we have from for sure, like in this industry and just houses in general.
Absolutely.
People just, there's only you can only know what people tell you, unfortunately, unless you take the time to ask those questions. which I think is really important for people to ask a million questions to builders, because
Yeah,
they're building you a house. You should ask so many questions. I feel like sometimes people might not ask enough questions, which is,
yeah.
did not go well.
I am more than happy to answer any
Yeah.
question anyone comes at me with. And again, just doing the best work, being honest with everybody. I don't believe, talking bad about anyone gets you anywhere. I
Hmm.
don't believe about anything gets you anywhere. If it does, it just puts you further behind.
Yeah.
And so I'm just completely transparent. I'm completely honest. And yeah, just always doing the best, trying to be the best. Not even being the best tiny home builder. It's just being about the best version of myself
Hmm.
that people can come to love and understand and work alongside.
Yeah. No, I think that's great, and I love that, and I think it does show. It shows in just the way that you're talking to, and you're really passionate about everything that you're doing. And I think honestly, I wish every tiny house builder and like every house builder was like you, because I think that makes it a lot easier to trust the work that you're doing, and it also makes it easier, to be honest, from like a sales standpoint. Like I'm willing to pay more, right? Like I'll pay more money for something if I trust the person that's providing it, as opposed to like if I don't trust the person that's providing it. So I think it also is going to, helpful for you overall as well too. Yeah, but I know that you're sitting in one of your homes right now. Do you mind just sort of like taking us around and showing us, like a tour of it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So
Well, cool. I like it.
here's my here's my most recent tiny home. It's a 20 by 8 model. I like to go with the farmhouse look just because it is popular. And again,
Hmm.
because my homes aren't pre sold, I have to draw a crowd and as much attention, positive attention as I can. So
Yeah.
this is white board and batten siding. It's vinyl. So again, that's what's lightweight being on a trailer. And it's also already comes in the color. So you don't have to paint it, you just have to pressure wash it to clean it. Uh,
Okay.
the front here is the same product that's on the ceiling inside. So the same product and color stain, so they tie together better than anything else would. This is again the 1 by 8 tongue and groove pine. It's stained, sealed for the weather, and it just really gives it a pop of color because the home is on the smaller scale of tiny homes. I knew I couldn't just do it white and black, so I really needed to throw a pop of color in there. I know like I've done the gold handles on this door, but that wasn't enough when it came to throwing some color in there. Um, but yeah, so this one has a black metal roof as well. I'm not gonna crawl on the roof and show you, but uh,
Okay.
so we'll go back inside.
I like that you did that with the outside though. Like I like that it's like white in the front and then you see like the pine on the side. Like I think that looks cool.
Mhm.
It's a cool contrast.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so right when you walk in is the stairs. We got a handrail going up.
Hmm.
If I were to put a handrail on this outside after the fact, it's not very structural because the beams are exposed. But it also, if it's on this side, it makes this feel more narrow, which is what you really want to stay away from in the tiny homes. So we have stairs going up to a loft that's a full bed up there. It will fit a queen bed. Just what I had to stage it was a full. These are red oak stair treads, stained and sealed. Yep. So the cabinets behind me are RTA. This color sage green, and it's got the gold handles on it. They're all soft close hinges, soft close drawers, really high quality material cabinets. We have a small countertop space. This goes with the couch that I'm furnishing with the home that sits below the window and has these wall sconces on it.
Hmm.
Up here is the 9,000 BTU mini split. It puts out heat and air and is rated for 400 square feet, but
Oh,
this
cool.
home is right over 200, including the loft. So that's the smallest unit I can get, and it's really overkill for this house. But uh, since it's the smallest, I'm not going to change up what I do. I'm just going to pay for it, use it, and it's going to cool or heat in here very, very quickly.
What are the countertops in the kitchen? What are those?
Yeah, so these are butcher block countertops.
Okay.
Yep.
What kind
So
of
from
wood is
local
it?
supply house. What's that?
What kind of wood is it?
Um, I believe it's birch.
Okay.
Uh, yep. So it's stained and sealed. It's
Okay.
got Yep. So it's got countertop seating here. This is an 8 foot piece.
Mhm.
It goes longer than 8 feet. It goes about 10 feet. Had to piece it together on the end, which goes over the hookups for a washer dryer.
Got it.
Um, this home in particular, I've actually just made the changes to for the individuals buying it. They're going to use it for an Airbnb on their property and
Mhm.
aren't going to put the washer dryer in there. So they had me remove the barn door I had was actually a bifold barn door.
Oh,
So
okay.
it would stop right here
Mhm.
and not interfere with the hookups for the washer dryer. But because they're not doing that, they asked me to cut back the countertop and put a full slab barn door, which I'm more than happy to do. So my customers are happy. Um, yeah, so this one actually has over here, this cabinet here
Oh, okay.
is pull out trash cans,
Mhm. Nice.
which
Okay.
I always find is very neat because you
Mhm.
always look for a spot to put a trash can. And really the only other place that you could put one in here is where you would sit to eat at this countertop space without it being out in your way. So
Mhm.
I always try to incorporate those. Yeah, they cost more. Yeah, it's extra work and material, but takes up a little bit more space. But then again, the functionality of it is really second to none. Is really something that I'm using in every one of my homes.
Mhm.
But yeah, soft close cabinets or soft close doors and drawers on all of them, butcher block tops, gold handles. Um, this fridge right here, this is a 7.5 cubic square foot. Square foot. Um, oh, I can't talk, can I? Cubic foot fridge, bottom fridge, top freezer. So it's perfect for one individual living full time or for these people that are buying it for Airbnb, for those that are going to stay 1 to 3 nights roughly. Plenty of groceries to put in there. Not have to spend as much money at the grocery store or go out to eat as much. It's perfect. This size is perfect for this size home.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. I like the
Yeah.
trash can too. I didn't even think about that, like where they go, because they take up a lot of space, but that doesn't look like it takes up too much space, that you would be using for something else. So that's smart. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. So I've come to love them and try to use them everywhere I can. So in here is the ceramic tile. This is a 48-inch shower.
Mhm.
We've done the blue tile with the gold fixtures and accent pieces. Um, Gold shower drain, and then same thing here. Gold lights, mirror, drain, sink,
Cool.
faucet. We have drawers right here for your vanity. And then one other thing that these buyers had me do was their lot doesn't accommodate for a septic tank or holding tank. So what they used in their other Airbnb was what they call a dry toilet. So it's almost like a
Mhm.
composting toilet, except you don't have to manually grind it. You just push a button, and she showed it to me earlier, and it was something I've never seen before. But it basically like aluminum foils up what you just put in there, and you dispose of it. So this home does not have a toilet in it. There
Interesting.
was one sitting right here
Yeah.
because you can see the water line sticking out. So to me, it looks a little funny without a toilet, but uh, especially doing plumbing because I used to set them every single day. But but it is what it is. Try to keep all the clients happy and really just doing whatever they ask me to. So last thing will be up the stairs here. Again, this is a full bed up
Mhm.
here. There's plenty of room to lay
Yeah, it
down
looks good.
in.
Looks spacious. I like the little landing
Yep,
part
crawl
too.
up there. Yep.
Mhm.
So, and really trying to figure out. So I'm sitting on the bed right now, and you can see I still have a few inches of headroom. So
Mhm.
I don't necessarily have to really just lunge into bed if I were to sleep up here.
Yeah.
I can get on my hands and knees and crawl in versus trying to get through a real tight space.
Mhm.
For me, over time in building as many homes as I have, I've really come to try to find the right height in the bathroom, because most of my homes will have the loft over the bathroom. And because you're on a trailer and have to abide by DOT standards, you can't go over 13'6" to the highest point, and that's outside. Right. So from ground level grade to your highest point of the roof cannot be taller than 13'6". So your trailer really starts about 2 feet off the ground. And then whatever materials you're using on the roof, you're taking up anywhere between 8 to 12 inches between ceiling, roof trusses, sheathing, and then whatever roof you use. So between 8 to 12 inches there. Excuse me. So obviously being in a loft, you're not going to be able to stand up unless you're a child or you're 4 feet tall. So for me, trying to figure out that right measurement in the bathroom where you're not having to duck in the bathroom right here. This is about 6'6", which most people are not 6'6", and the likelihood of being 6'6", being in a tiny house, is a lot slimmer than just being that height in general. So that height in the bathroom without having to feel crowded or crouch really, really has been good for me, finding that and using that time and time again, because like I just sat up in the loft without hitting my head, or really just having to lunge in the bed as soon as I hit that top step. So just over time, constantly learning new things, learning what works, what doesn't. And again, sometimes stuff will work on this build that isn't going to work on the next build. And so you just have to be creative and find ways around it without really killing the space, ruining the space and the flow of the home.
No, that makes sense. And it's a beautiful home. So I appreciate you taking the time to sort of walk us through it. I think that people are going to be really excited to just be able to see everything that you're doing, and then also get to see you sort of like walk through and explain stuff, because you are really knowledgeable about things, and I appreciate that you break stuff down. I think you explain it in a way that makes it really easy for people to understand. So I think that's really great that people got the chance to sort of like get a little bit behind the scenes, especially with everything that you know. So yeah, I appreciate it. And I appreciate you taking time to chat with me too. I feel like anyone that watches this video is going to learn a lot in general about tiny homes, and then about you. And so, hopefully they'll reach out to you and they'll ask questions, and, hopefully ask you to build their dream home too. So yeah. And like the link, everything you'll be like, your link to your websites in the video, like your Instagram, everything will be there so they can reach out and ask you questions.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate you allowing me to be on your channel. I hope that I can help you grow. I hope that you can help me grow. And I'm looking forward to another video here in the soon future once I get these other 2 under construction. Then we can really see behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think that'll be really fun. Thank you so much, Saylor.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. All right, that was my conversation with Saylor. I appreciate Saylor taking the time to walk us through not only their backstory in construction and sort of why they decided to create coastal tiny homes, but just going through the different details of what to look for and how a house is built out to really high quality. So I appreciate Saylor taking the time to sort of walk us through that. I feel like I learned a lot, so hopefully that you guys learned a lot as well too. So make sure you check out everything that Saylor is doing, links to their website, social media, so you can reach out, you can ask questions, and hopefully find your new dream tiny home, especially for those of you who are considering going to Poplar Creek as well, because they've got a partnership. So I would definitely suggest reaching out to Saylor in that regard as well. All right, if you're new to the channel, please take time to subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Got a notification bell. You tap that, you find out when I drop new videos. I drop new videos every single week. You can join the Think Tiny crew. You can look at the different membership options. Got a range of price options there. You can say thank you. So the super thanks is there as well too. So thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to think tiny. I'll see you guys in the next one.